Buenos dias. My name is Andres Tovar, Executive Director of the Virginia Latino Leaders Council. We are holding this press conference today to raise our voices to protest to the divisive actions from Virginia's governor against Latinos and immigrants. But we also want to take this opportunity to educate folks about who we are. Latinos comprise about 10.2% of Virginia's population, or about 882,000. More than 2/3 of Latinos are legally here as U.S. citizens or legal residents. Over 250,000 are eligible to vote. The reason we have concentrated so much on our efforts in helping undocumented Latinos is because they have so much to contribute. But because we have a broken immigration system, and because some politicians have demonized our community, undocumented Latinos are regulated to live in the shadows. We are using our organizations and leaders to raise our voices, to tell Virginians Latinos and the immigrant community are givers. We are not takers. Our communities are paying millions of dollars each year in numerous taxes to pay for all of our children's education, for our public utilities, and our safe streets. Several studies conducted in Virginia have clearly demonstrated that the immigrant communities are contributing much more than they are taking. As presenters today, we are delighted to have the Honorable J. Walter Tejada, President of the Virginia Latino Leaders Council, whose community activism and 13 years of service in the Arlington County Board has earned him national recognition as a fighter for immigrant rights. Followed is Beatriz Amberman, Chair of the Virginia Coalition of Latino Organizations, or VACOLAO, whose leadership has brought the voices of hundreds of Latinos and immigrants to the halls of the Virginia State Legislature and the state capitol, and she is also Vice President of the Virginia Latino Leaders Council. And finally, Karen Vallejos, Executive Director of the DREAM Project, whose program has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to make it possible for dreamers to be able to go to college. Muchas gracias. Walter, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Andres. Good morning. As Andres mentioned, my name is Walter Tejada. I am the privilege to serve as president of the Virginia Latino Leaders Council. Before I begin my full official remarks, let me thank Café Sazón for hosting us here today, and thank all of you from the media who have made your presence here. Las conversaciones que vamos a tener hoy van a ser mayormente en inglés, pero con mucho gusto al final del programa vamos a poder tener entrevistas en español para contestar cualquier pregunta que tengan. I want to thank State Delegate Alfonso Lopez for joining us, Ismael Ahmed from Unite Here, who's also present in show of solidarity, and former Arlington County Board School member Emma Violan Sanchez. Thank you all for joining us. So why is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin establishing a divisive pattern? Why is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin establishing a divisive pattern? The Virginia Latino Leaders Council, along with many partner organizations and community activists throughout the Commonwealth, today are expressing our deep concern and disappointment with the divisive pattern Governor Glenn Youngkin seems to be establishing this just a few months into his term. In particular, we are appalled at his decision to remove in-state tuition funding intended for Virginia's Latino and immigrant students, many who are known as Dreamers or DACA recipients. Now, why did the governor take this action? What was the real reason? With his deplorable decision, the governor chose to pull the rug from under the feet of Virginia's Latino and immigrant students, many of whom come from low-income households. These students are among the best and brightest graduates from our high schools. With this deplorable decision, known as his Amendment Number 8 in this year's budget, Governor Youngkin is pitting young Latino immigrant students against students attending historically black colleges and universities. At a time when Virginia has about a $2 billion surplus, why is this necessary? Why intentionally pit one community against another? Is this now part of the divisive pattern Governor Youngkin wants to establish? Well, let's see. In the short time he has been in office, this governor has divided the community with his focus on the non-existent teaching of critical race theory, creating a tip line to snitch on teachers, suppressing books in our schools, appointing people to commissions who want to keep Confederate racist symbols in public display, and now pitting one minority community against another with his Amendment Number 8, and with it, dashing the educational aspirations of Latino and immigrant students. The Latino community stands in solidarity with the African American community, and we will not allow these types of decisions to drive a wedge between us. Of course, additional funding should go to support historically black colleges and universities, but why is the governor choosing to do so by taking in-state tuition funding previously approved by the General Assembly for Latino and immigrant students? Why did Governor Youngkin make this deplorable decision, opposed by the vast majority of Latino Virginians? We call on Governor Youngkin to immediately take steps that lead to the reestablishment of in-state tuition funding for Latino immigrant students. Governor Youngkin, please do not choose to deny education opportunities to Latino and immigrant students. Instead of dividing communities, why don't you work to bring us all together? Now we hear next from the chair of the Virginia Coalition of Latino Organizations, Beatriz Emberman.
Thank you, Walter. And on behalf of the Virginia Coalition of Latino Organizations, I want to express the following. We are concerned to see that political interests are being prioritized over community needs and unity. On July 21st, Governor Youngkin announced a nearly $2 billion budget surplus. And despite this fact, he decided to take away the $10 million that was previously budgeted for Latino DACA students, scholarships, and instead give it to historically black colleges and universities. Sacrificing one community over another for personal political gain must not be done. It is unfortunate that some political leaders took the bait and decided to join on this game of division. The Latino community supports educational funding for all of our youth, period, and will be mobilizing our community to elect leaders that unite, not divide. DACA individuals contribute billions of dollars to the economy. They pay approximately $47 million in local and state taxes and more than $70 million in federal taxes. Among all DACA eligible residents, 93% are employed. We are not only hurting DACA individuals, we are hurting local economies, communities, and schools, employers and businesses that depend on these young people as workers and customers. Hardworking Virginia students who are African American, Latino, Asian, Native American, and of other diverse backgrounds deserve our investment. Our collective prosperity depends on the success of our future generations. We urge Governor Youngkin and our elected leaders to restore scholarship funding for Latinos and expand educational funding to benefit all diverse groups. The almost $2 billion surplus makes this very achievable. And we call our Latino community, regardless of party affiliation, to join us in our advocacy for equal rights, justice, and representation for Latinos in Virginia. Please register and vote. Thank you. Karen?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Vallejos, and I'm the Executive Director of the DREAM Project. The DREAM Project empowers students whose immigration status creates barriers in attaining higher education. At the DREAM Project, we are both saddened and angered by the actions of the governor. Our students are some of the brightest in the state, and they are students that Virginia as a Commonwealth has invested in since they were children. These students have gone through elementary, middle school, and high school. They have become valedictorians, outstanding students, and have gone off to college. Now, wanting to stay in Virginia, the governor's actions treats them as outsiders. This aligns with a history of Virginia actively targeting and attacking both DACA and undocumented students. These students only want to give back to Virginia. At the DREAM Project, we have given out over $300,000 in scholarships just this year to 100 of these students. These students work in the health field, in STEM, and as teachers. These are areas that Virginia needs professionals in, and pushing them away only hurts the state. I would now like to introduce one of our own alumni who was one of the first recipients of our scholarships, is a DACA recipient herself and now works in government affairs, Haref Andrade.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. My name is Haref Andrade. I am a New American and a DACA recipient. I think the work of our Virginia legislature agrees with the majority of our Commonwealth's views on education, which is to create equitable opportunities at colleges and universities for all Virginia residents. Our backward governor has made a terrible decision to cut the possibility of government funding for DACA recipients' college education. It's clear that there is a young, growing base of voters in our Commonwealth who are becoming more aware of our political system and know that our votes matter. We know that leaders who try to use politics, like the redirection of funds to divide us, are dangerous.